There are two very different types of mycotoxin tests circulating around in the functional medicine world right now. And most people get very confused on which one is best for figuring out mold toxicity and how to actually measure it or what it's measuring. So I'm going to explain what the difference is between the two most popular mold toxicity tests, what each test tells you, and why it matters a lot on what you do for your overall health journey in successfully healing and detoxing from mold. By the end of this video, you'll understand what the difference is between a urine mycotoxin test and a blood mycotoxin test, and what they're measuring, the strengths and limitations, and what's best for you based on your situation, and how an integrative approach might really be the answer to helping you move forward. Real quick, I am Ashley Drummond, an integrative health specialist. I work specifically with people dealing with mold, mycotoxins, CIRS, chronic mysterious illnesses, helping them get to the root cause so they can finally heal, move forward, and get their life back. If you're interested in working with me one-on-one, all the links and resources you need are in the description of this video. So what are mycotoxin tests actually measuring? So mycotoxins are the toxic metabolites of mold. It's not the mold themselves. It is the chemical metabolites that these mold spores release that cause all the damage and all the symptoms that you're probably dealing with. So they're invisible, they're odorless, you don't see them, you don't smell them, but they can stay in your body long after you've even left a contaminated environment. And this happens a lot where somebody is not currently exposed to mold, but maybe they were a year ago, a couple of years ago, and because it stays in the body, if it hasn't been detoxed, now all of a sudden they're having all these symptoms. The most common ways that you get exposed are through inhalation, breathing it in, ingestion, consuming it, or through your skin, absorbing it. So that's typically what happens on how you even end up with issues with mold. Now, why is mycotoxin testing so complicated? Well, number one, because of genetic variants, not everybody excretes or detoxes toxins the same way, especially with the HLA-DR genetic variant. So people who have this can definitely have a lot of problems with successfully getting rid of mycotoxins. Does this mean you need to go out and buy an HLA genetic test right now? No, not necessarily, because it's not really going to change a whole lot other than the fact that you need to make sure that you heal from this, you get the right testing, and you get the right protocol and healing for it. That means two people with very identical exposure issues can have two very different lab results and test results, because it's all about that body's immune system. It's all about their genetic pathways. It's about their detox pathways. And this is why, like I've said before, two people can be in the same home or same building and one person feels like they're dying when somebody else feels totally fine, because you are unique. You have your own biochemistry. You have your own genetic pathways that make up how we work through different things with our immune system. So neither blood nor urine mycotoxin testing is FDA approved for technically diagnosing mold illness. So it's more about just getting to the root cause of what might be driving your symptoms. So the urine mycotoxin testing. Now, this is the one I prefer and I like, but I'm going to give you an overview of what it is, how it works, and some of its limitations. So urine mycotoxin tests are measuring the mycotoxin metabolites, the byproducts that your body is actively excreting and detoxing through the kidneys. A lot of the different mycotoxins that are out there are very heavy on the kidneys because of the way it affects the immune system and the detox pathways. So there's a lot of different companies that do it. The one that I enjoy using the most and have had the best success with is the Mosaic Diagnostics. I do have the link to that one in the description if you would like to do that. It's just a very simple, you get a cup, you pee in the cup, they ship you the whole kit. You put it back in the package and you ship it back to the lab, and they will run a full panel to see which mycotoxins that you may be dealing with and if you are dealing with any of those. So the nice thing about it is it's non-invasive. You just do it first thing in the morning. So what the urine testing is showing us is what mycotoxins your body is currently eliminating, how active the burden is, how big the burden is. It can also be useful to help track progress in a detox protocol. So if you saw my story in the video with that, you see that when I did the urine mycotoxin test first, I had a certain amount and certain strains in there. And then as I started my detox protocol down the road, those numbers went way up, and I actually had more mycotoxins that came up, which was a good sign because it means that my body was actively and successfully pulling things out. So I like the urine one because it is so simple and at home and non-invasive, and it's helpful as you're going through a detox protocol to see the progress, but then also to see how much is being excreted, if new ones are showing up, if you need to adjust the protocol, and just overall, if your symptoms are improving, but the numbers that are being excreted have gone up, it means those systems in your body are being less impacted because now it's being successfully excreted. If you have multiple levels that show up after you start a detox protocol, that's very normal. A lot of the mycotoxins get stored in your fat tissues and your cells and all your different systems. So it is natural and a good sign if you find much higher levels after you have started a protocol, because it means it's no longer just sticking around in your body. Some of the limitations with the urine mycotoxin test is you have no way of distinguishing if it's coming from food or water damaged buildings. So it's not going to help you figure out where in the environment it's coming from. That's okay. It's at least going to show us like what it's excreting. This is also going to show you two results of recent excretion, not the actual total body burden. So urine tests can only capture what your kidneys are currently filtering out, not what's actually being stored in the tissues, the organs, or the bloodstream. So one of the things that can happen, especially people who are dealing with CIRS, chronic inflammatory response syndrome, or if you just have a very high toxin burden on the body, is you may actually show very low urine levels on the mycotoxin test, even if you have a very high body burden, because your body isn't efficiently clearing out those toxins. I've had people have false negatives that are definitely dealing with mold and mycotoxins, and then they start the protocol and then they actually start flushing those out. There's a little bit of limitation on it. It can be hit or miss. I find it super helpful, especially as you are going through a protocol in figuring out what's working and what's not working and just seeing the numbers change. So that's why I like it. Now, we then have the blood mycotoxin testing, which is very common. So we can talk about what that is, how it works, and what that shows. So the one that's probably most common is going to be the serum mycotoxin antibody. This is your IgG and IgE markers. This is measuring the immune system's antibody response to mycotoxins. So specifically, IgG is going to show more of a past or ongoing chronic exposure, where IgE is going to show more of a current allergic response. So unlike urine test, it's not actually showing the mycotoxins themselves. It's measuring how your immune system is reacting or reacted to them. So the good thing about the blood testing is that it can show both current and historical exposure. The limitation on it, though, is it's showing a lot more of like immune sensitization than what your body is actively excreting. Now, another type of test is based on the Shoemaker protocol. So these are specific blood markers. I'm not going to go through every single one of them because there's a lot of them that are measuring like C4A, your MSH, your ACTH, your cortisol, your leptin. There's a lot of different blood markers you can check as part of the Shoemaker protocol to see if any of those markers are off, which would be indicative that you're dealing with something like CIRS or mycotoxin illness. Now, the ones with the Shoemaker protocol are not directly testing mycotoxins. They're more so measuring the body's inflammatory and immune response to biotoxin exposure. So this would be more important instead of figuring out what mycotoxins or biotoxins are present. You're looking more at what are they doing to the immune system. So if you are looking to figure out stuff with CIRS, chronic inflammatory response syndrome, these markers can be very helpful if somebody is trying to eliminate a diagnosis of CIRS. It creates more of a fingerprint and a blueprint for an inflammatory response and figuring out which part of the protocol needs to be adjusted. So then that brings us to a side-by-side comparison of what test is best for you. So the core difference is urine mycotoxin testing is asking what toxins is the body currently excreting. where the serum testing is asking what is mold toxicity or biotoxins currently doing to your immune system. So we're looking at two different things. Both are important. Do you have to do both? Not necessarily. I usually just do urine mycotoxin. There are other tests that I do that would show inflammatory markers. That's really what the main difference is. So the urine test is a little more helpful, I find, when you want to identify specific mold species that you might be dealing with. It would also be easier if you've already cleaned up your diet. If you're consuming processed foods, poorly stored grains, things you know that are just not good, a urine mycotoxin test is not going to be super helpful because all the stuff that is in all that food, like if it's contaminated coffee, if it's contaminated grains, is going to show up on a urine mycotoxin test with something like ochratoxin in it. So that would be one thing that is not super helpful. If you have already cleaned up your nutrition and you're not consuming contaminated foods, the urine mycotest can be super helpful. It's also for seeing what your kidneys are successfully excreting right now and how well you are processing those metabolites. The blood testing is more useful if you want to know if mold exposure has triggered an actual immune response issue, and if you also want to know which parts of the body are most impacted and need the most support. So if you've already had a positive urine test and you need to understand how deeply it's impacting your immune system, the blood testing can be super helpful. If you're also not sure if it's a current exposure or a past exposure, that can be super helpful. But there's other ways you could do those tests too, with things like the ERMI or the HERTSMI test to find out if your environment is exposed. But also, if you're just curious of your genetic susceptibility, like with the HLA-DR typing, if you're curious, you could run that test to find out as well. Now, the most powerful approach, obviously, you could do both together. For me, I did not do all of the serum testing and all the biomarkers in the Shoemaker protocol. I just did the urine mycotoxin testing, and then I did do some other markers to just see, well, like the HSCRP. I did a full hormone panel. I did some EBV reactivation panels, things like that, that were more helpful for me. So it's really just based on you and what you want to do or what your integrative health or functional health specialist prefers. And it's really dependent on the type of protocol that they do. It is time consuming. It is expensive. It is frustrating and exhausting. But if you can be patient and go through the proper steps of healing your body and detoxing successfully, you will get your health back, your energy back, your immune system back, and all those systems will restore. You just have to go about this the right way. If you are interested and you need help working one-on-one, you can work with me as your integrative health specialist. The links to do so are in the description of this video. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and let me know in the comments. That helps more people find this education to get the help they need in case they are struggling with mycotoxins as well. So until next time, see you in the other videos.